I added this switch that's going to give me an A/B high gain versus low gain, and also added an LED to indicate whether it's on. So blue light's got a high gain, you'll know what that is. So I did a lot of things. Added some variation to this. Speaking of the high gain, low gain, right there to the right, that resistor is a 2.2 meg. Next to it, I got a 1 meg pot, and that makes it where I can dial it down to whatever gain setting I want. So if I want it to be just an overdrive sound, I can achieve that now. I got everything socketed here. Even with the resistors I just spoke about, I could have made that a fixed resistor. I got some other parts coming in. And with that, there's going to be some high voltage meg resistors. But I think I'm going to settle on that. If I went to the 3.3, I did a little bit of an experiment last night. And I tried a 4 meg and 3 meg, and it just got muddy. I don't think it's going to be very usable. And if you stop playing, it's going to howl back on you. So you want it to be controllable. With that, I also kept the other gain. I can dial that back. And that's like my overall gain setting. I have the low gain setting. And I'm just going to chunk some chords here. That's a very low gain setting. See, I can raise that. I can take that all the way. This is a 1 meg pot. So it used to be that to get this, I had to adjust everything. Well, I've got a 2-stage gain pedal. So I can put that whatever setting I want. So I'm going to bring it down. Put it on the middle position of the guitar. Capacitors to choose from. I hadn't even done the true bypass, which I got to do. Just step on that, I will be able to, and it turns it into just a very docile overdrive. This thing's fun, man. It turns you into a kid automatically. I mean, you're just sitting here playing just stuff you never thought you'd come up with. Really, it's like going to your amplifier, clicking it on, and you just get inspired by the sounds. And the only way you could create that is it just be so loud everybody it gets on everybody's nerves. Well, you can find this in a guitar pedal now. All right, here's a pedal update. Got the lot of things happened today. It's not that late, and happy that I got it finished. The parts came in, so I did a little experimenting first. Put in a socket right there, and that is where the second gain stage is. And I think I got a 2.2 or 1.5 meg in there is what I got, 1.5 meg. And with that, I added a 1 meg pot on top of that. So I took out where the 1 meg pot was and had to do away with some ground wires and all that stuff. But I had a 1 meg pot that was in the very beginning of the circuit. Now it's more or less in between pin 2 and 6, just like the other one. So I've got both 1 meg pots on both of those, but with that resistor I get an extra boost. So that's the reason for that. So I did all that, and it took some time. I had to do some repairs. I had 2 of my caps come loose. I had to do that, and that took a while. That was cap 6 and 7 that came loose. And you had to take all the solder off of there and then use the electric desolderer, which is really handy. I bought that thing a while back. Just did some rearranging on some things. A lot of experimenting today. But as we can see, it's got AV switcher that's for my high gain and low gain. So I'll be able to step on that. This came in. So there's the box that's got to go in. And look at the size of that thing. It's going to be questionable how I'm going to get that done. So new territory, but this is strip board versus perf board. So may end up cutting a little bit out of that so that I can accommodate the pots underneath it somehow. Still a bit of a wiry mess. I was hoping it'd clean up a little bit, but I don't think it's... Again, this is a MXR Distortion Plus, and I modded it from all the readings that I've done, and it sounds like a high gain circuit if you want it. And then you can, go to gain, the low gain setting, and you can dial it way back. So you can get down to where it's just a boost if you wanted to have that. And, whatever area amounts of distortion you want to have. A rundown of it. I've got, like I said, 2 pots for gain number 1. Got the Big Muff tone circuit that's being used right there. And I played around with the values the other day. And, it just takes a while. Everything's in sockets. That's one thing it takes a while is putting sockets in. But, therefore you can change it out how you like. So you can play around with the different values with that. Overall volume. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and the 8 capacitors to choose from. That's a rotary switch. Rotor switch gives you 8 capacitors. And then you got the blue light that indicates whether it's high gain. And if you turn it off, then it becomes the low gain. I'll go ahead and show that. There's the low gain. And there's the high gain again. This is the low gain setting. to turn that low gain down. So I can really get that too. You know, it's not as loud as, you might have to adjust the volume a bit, you know, so that you can get it loud enough. And then, but that's not what I'm going to use it for. I basically want a distortion because I already got that boost to do stuff with. It's on the board already. So how you indicate something like that is I can put that on the middle position and I can have a lot of fun. What cap am I on? I don't even know. Yeah, I was way on the bass side there. Let me put that about 4. I remember that's about a 150 nanofarad. You really get a good cleanup. Kick it into high gain. And let's see, I'm going to put my high gain all the way to the left side. And that would give me the 1.5 meg. So the thing about it on this camera, you're not going to be able to hear 1.5 meg versus noon, which is, you know, approaching, the maximum you can get is 2.5 meg. So that's midway. Now I'm going to make it 3/4. So various amounts of distortion you won't be able to distinguish, I don't think. I can't even hear that, really. Where it really shines is if you play like notes. Really get the sustain on the notes. So I'll max that out. That should be around 2.5 meg. What's great? You got the low gain, so it's a much a variety with this. I've already demonstrated the tone. muddy it up. All kinds of variations there. So it's getting to the point where everything is about to be finalized, put in this box. With the strip board, I think it's a lot easier. It is you know where things are. That's one thing about the strip board is, you know, you go to perp board, you'd have to search for days to find out what the problem is if something was to come loose. You can easily find it. It's got to be one of those rows, and everything leads to, you know, what the problem or the culprit might be. I have the very first guitar pedal I ever built, and I was pretty happy with it when I built it and got it working. Brings back memories, a long time ago. And foot switch that went bad in the Sonology Madness. And I thought that for a long while. With that statement, I took another foot switch out of there and placed it into the Sonology Madness. End of story with it. It works phenomenally now. Dabbled with putting another switch in this, and I took a switch apart, and I think that thing was just faulty to begin with. I could never get it to do right. I'm not going to throw it away because I can use it as a template, you know, a gauge to figure out, you know, when I do my drilling for these different enclosures or whatever. So the BBS 1590 BBS has been drilled. Here it is right there. I got it in a bag so I don't mar it up. But that's what the enclosure looks like. This is a BBS enclosure. And I got all the holes drilled that should work. And I got some experience with using this one. It should fit. I may have to cut the board. A lot going on in that circuit there. And that's what it looks like. Very nice, what they call it, Alexandrite. And it's got some reds, got some blues in there. They say the Alexandrite stone can change colors with the light and all that stuff. So it's just a nice effect. Kind of like a, you know, not a flat color at least. But, you know, as we look at this, this is nice and tidy. Did that back when I was just using speaker wire. So you might be able to hear that. I can't really play it. But I'm going to close it up. And again, that was my first guitar build. Moving on to these things. Things had changed. This will be my 6th pedal after, I think, a total of 7 pedals. So, way different than what it used to be. The primitive, that is, versus this. And this is on the strip board now. It's got the copper traces in the back. And all kinds of things. I guess you could count that as a project too. Also the theremin. That's a lot of projects I've built. So as we zoom out, there it all is. Notice the blue light came on.